What's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with the new video. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Y'all know that I had a great weekend. Shout out to Sharon and Brandon because we had so much fun on Friday night. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't get effed up like that in a while. And I just enjoyed myself. I had fun with them. Went to the new Wawa. There's a new Wawa in town at Broad and Walnut. I went in there. Let me tell you how I had like 4 of those chocolate covered donuts. I don't know if y'all ever had the intimate donuts. You had the intimate donuts before? They chocolate frosted. Oh my God. They were so damn good. Like, oh, I had to keep going back and get them. I was so drunk. I kept going back in there and get them. Go back in there and get some more. Get some more. Got a little pudge right now, but that's all right. It's all right. I just had a great time Saturday. I went out late. Went to the Cheesecake Factory again. Shout out to Art. Had a nice little dinner. And Sunday I relaxed. Called myself watching the Eagles game. That shit was a disaster. I don't know. You could blame the coach. You could blame the players. They just played terrible against Dallas. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. And I watched the Emmys. Did you watch the Emmys? You tried it, not watching the Emmys. The Emmys were so
I'm
good.
sorry, you know, I wasn't home. Forgive me.
I know you had 2 church services, child.
I can't always be home.
The Emmys were so good, and I don't even watch the Emmys like that, okay? Normally it's on when I don't care. Like, all right, whatever.
And for your information, yes, I did, but I also had an event after the second service.
I know you had 2 churches to go to. You told me on Saturday night.
Yeah, but the second service was not when the Emmys was on. Oh. That's why I said I had an event to go to Sunday night.
Not today. Listen, the Emmys were good, and you missed a good show.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Just listen, yo, because the Emmys, I never really watch it, but this time I just was like, there was just so much hype for the Emmy Awards.
So you watched it this year, and you never really watch it. I don't watch it at all because I don't watch TV. As far as those TV shows, so I don't know who's nominated and why they're nominated. I don't watch, well, the only show I think that was nominated that I really watch is Empire. I don't watch Scandal. And I don't watch, I've been stopped watching Scandal, and y'all already know why I don't watch that.
New season started this.
Scandal's now a soap opera, and I don't have time for that. I watched How to Get Away with Murder, but it didn't really, it didn't grab me the way I thought that it would. But what I will say is a show that has grabbed me, and I'll let you get back to the Emmys in a minute. But there's this new show on Netflix called Narcos.
Yes, everybody's been talking about that. I
can't wait to get home so I can catch up on. And mind you, I'm only on episode 3, but it's really good.
What is it about?
It's about the drug cartel and Pablo who was Escobar?
Mexican drug lord.
Yeah, back in the 80s and stuff. Oh, it's really good. The only thing I don't like is the whole subtitles, because you know. But I mean, there are, you know, but I mean, it's just so much, you know, that you have to keep reading the subtitles. But it's really good. It's really good, and I would definitely recommend that show.
How long are each episode?
Like an hour.
An hour. It's the only thing.
Shout out to Netflix. It's like, why aren't these type of shows on actual TV? Then maybe I would watch TV.
Yeah, but from the comedy point, it was on point. It was on point. Andy Samberg, who's he has a show on Fox called Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Terry Crews, Andre Braugher, and some other people. If y'all don't watch it, I like to watch it, but the episodes go by so fast because I watch them on Hulu. They just go by so fast, but it's funny. I enjoy the show, and I thought they would have been canceled it, but it's still on after 2 years. So shout out to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and a lot of, you know, they talked about the diversity of, you know, there were so many African Americans nominated this year, and I think it was the most ever, and some was in multiple categories, and you know, I was happy about that. But then I started thinking, like, I'm used to maybe 5 people being in the category, but it was like 7 and 8 people in a category, and I'm like, I'm just hoping that they're not putting black people in these categories just to say, oh, we have the most diverse nominations. Somebody told me that normally they had 6, but a lot of the categories, there were like 7 to 8 people in it. And I guess they were due to ties. I don't really know. But, you know, I was just happy to see that they were nominated. They were there. And Uzo Aduba, she won for Orange is the New Black, and they were saying she she would tie Asner as the first actress to win for the same role in different categories, comedy and drama, because they switched Orange is the New Black from a comedy to a drama, and I don't know why, because it's a comedy to me, but she still won, and she was just so overjoyed. Like, she was...
For the same role.
Yeah, for the same character, Crazy Eyes.
And they said that she tied Ed Asner?
Mm-hmm. Or
which role was that he did that was comedy that switched to drama?
I'm not sure, but they said it on the...
They did
like
say
during
it.
the opening monologue,
okay.
He was saying that if she wins, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was just a big night. And then I was shocked when Regina King won for American Crime. Because I didn't think that, first of all, her role was very powerful on the show. It came on ABC. If y'all missed it, y'all missed a good show. But I didn't think that they would, you know, nominate her and let alone let her win. Like, she won.
What was the category for?
Best Supporting Actress. I believe it was Outstanding Actress in a Drama. Supporting Actress. I think it was Supporting Actress.
Yeah, because Viola Davis won for lead actress. So
yeah, it was like in a limited series. Outstanding Actress in a limited series, because it was like a 10-episode.
Oh, so it's not coming
thing. I don't know. They might bring it back, but it would be. It's kind of like, you know, like American. What's that damn comedy? Not comedy. American Horror Story. Yeah. Same characters, different stories.
Oh, okay.
So they might bring it back like that. But I was happy for her. She was like all the black people crying, except for Viola Davis. Viola Davis, when she got that award, and she just went up there and started preaching, and she started talking about the struggles of being a black actress in Hollywood by saying the only thing that separates women of color from the others is opportunity. And then she was saying like how the casting directors, they need to start making more opportunity. You can't win an Emmy if you don't have an opportunity to play a role to win an Emmy. Like, she was just going off for those 2 minutes, and she just spoke, and she just, you know, that you can't be nothing but uplifted. And for the people in Hollywood, you know, when we win something big like an Emmy or an Oscar, it's a big thing. But we don't ever get that chance as often as other races do, because we don't have those roles, and they're not giving out, or we feel like a white person will be better to play this role than a black person. So it was just very uplifting to see 3 black women get up there and win their awards, and they were so graceful, like so damn happy, and it felt like when one won, it felt like everybody won. Every time we all go up. But I want us to get to the point where we win because, you know, we deserve to win, and they did deserve to win. But I don't want it to feel like, okay, you know, when one win, we all win, because we don't never see it like this. I would love to see this happen more often for our actors and actresses, and then more so it happens for the actresses than the actors. For the black actors, you don't really see it as much as them getting an award. Like, they'll get nominated for a best comedy actor or best actor, but they never win, and the females always win. But it was overall, the Emmys was a great show. If you missed it, I'm sure you could probably watch it on demand. But after Viola Davis gave her great speech, there's an actress, oh my God, I can't remember her darn name.
Nancy Grawn.
Nancy Grawn. I've never heard of her, but they said she was from the soaps from back in the day. And she got on Twitter and was just saying that she wished that Shonda Rhimes could have wrote Viola Davis' speech, because, you know, she's been an actress in this game for 40 years, and it's been hard for all women, and it was kind of like taking that moment from Viola Davis, kind of like, you know how we say Black Lives Matter, and then you got a white person saying, well, all lives matter. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about years and years and years of being oppressed in this entertainment industry, and now, you know, it's like just now we're being noticed. Now we win the Emmys, and now there's more black TV shows on network TV than I can remember that's not a part of a black lineup. Because when we were growing up, each network had their own nights for the black people. But now it's like we have shows on network television, and it's not reality shows. These are TV shows, and we must watch these shows and support our actresses. Because who else going to support them if we don't? So you got to watch the shows. We got Megan Good and Minority Report. Morris Chestnut got a new show called Rosewood. Empire's coming back. Blackish is out. Survivor's Remorse. You got Power. The new show on NBC, Truth Be Told. You have the Carmichael Show with David Alan Grier and what's her name? Divine. Loretta Devine. There's so many black people on TV. And it's not hard to find anymore. You flip the damn channel and boop, they right there. But we must support them so they can stay on TV and not become an afterthought like before, because reality shows just took over and that's all we were watching. That's all we were watching. Reality show this, reality show that. Now let's start watching these actors and actresses act and entertain us. So, you know, and it was so good to see Viola Davis and what's her name? Taraji P. Henson hugging each other after they announced Viola's name. Like you can see that there's really a black sisterhood in Hollywood, because they all have to go after the same goddamn roles, and it shouldn't be like that. And that show Hollywood Divas, it really could have shown how hard it is for African American actresses in this game, but yet they all digging in each other's back and fighting each other. Oh, you stole the money and did this. But imagine how powerful that show could have been if it would have took a different direction.
Then you start to preach.
Wow, I'm just.
Now you starting to.
Yes, I'm just saying, y'all. It's just it's hard out here.
And some of those women on Hollywood Diva have been acting for more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Elise Neal, Paula
J. Parker.
I mean, come on.
Golden Brooks. Like, y'all are veterans in this.
And all they do is just go at each other's throat. And I'm really shocked
talk about I want to eat chicken and shit. Like, come on. What's her name? Kim Parker? Forgot how her on the counters for him. Oh, go.
I'm not going to say anything.
That's all she kept talking about. Every time they fight, at least this chicken was good. That's why I stopped watching it. It was just, it became a mess. It became a mess. And I didn't like how Paula J was just down to herself for her husband. And she was somebody that I respected because she didn't get the best roles, but she had roles that you remember from a lot of stuff. And it's just like, you letting this man down your mom, talk shit to your mom and everything.
Nobody hired her.
Yeah. Talking about I'm working this job, and she lying behind people's back. It was just too much, but they could have really showed the sisterhood behind that. Kind of like how Oprah did when she had all the girls on her TV show a couple years ago, and they were talking about the struggles of being a black actress in Hollywood with Sanaa Lathan. What's her name from the? Oh, my mind. It's so early in the day. From the Cosbys. Felicia Rashad and Gabrielle Union, and you know, it was a good debate. It was a good debate, a good panel of women just discussing their struggles of Hollywood, and you can see that Felicia Rashad wasn't there for one of them. I can't remember who, but she was throwing so much shade at her responses. I don't remember who it was, but do you remember what I'm talking about?
I didn't see that episode, but I have it visual in my head. I didn't see it, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I do remember the episode, but I didn't see it, and it was so long ago that I don't know why I didn't see it. Yes. Wow! Now I got to go look for it. Now that you said it,
she was just so shady. Like she just was not here, cause I guess she just was like, baby, you just a young girl in this thing. Like
you really don't know.
Yes, you don't know. So it was good, and so yeah. So then I know we didn't talk about it last week, but Matt Damon, he really tried it. They brought back Project Greenlight last week. And one of the producers was on the show. She was a part of the Dear White People film, and she's directed a bunch of other films. Or wrote, I think she's a writer or producer, I'm not sure. But she was a part of the Dear White People film. If you haven't seen it, it is on demand, and it also is on Netflix. And I watched some of it, but it was good from what I've seen, but I got to get back into it. They were having an argument about a black woman dating this white guy, and she was a prostitute, and him beating her up and everything. But she was just saying, like, it's very important that we tell her story the right way and not, you know, like, kind of like typecast this character. And Matt Damon, he basically was not agreeing with what she was saying, and then he was saying that our job is just to make sure that the diversity, when it comes to diversity, it's our job to make sure we have a diversity cast and not diversity when it comes to the direction of the people that's working on the film. And that just took everybody, she gasped when he said that. And
now his thing was what? He thinks that the cast should not be diverse?
He said when it comes to diversity, the casting should be diverse. But when it comes to like the people that's directing and making the film, diversity doesn't matter.
Oh wow.
And she was
so basically saying that if it was an all-white crew, then that's fine.
Yeah. And that's why she was saying like it's very important that we handle this character with care, because you just don't want a bunch of white people having this actress go out and do this and do that, and she's just not being portrayed right. So that's why she was like, we must be very respectful of this character, and he wasn't here for that. And a lot of people was upset with Matt Damon last week, to where he had to apologize for what he was saying, and a lot of people were saying that he was white-splaining stuff. I've never heard of that before.
Me neither.
But they just wasn't happy with what he said. But it also shows you what goes on behind the scenes with the producers, the directors, the casting, the companies that give the money for the films. All of that goes on, and they feel like if you're not a powerful black person in these roles, then no, we can't give this to you because you're not putting asses in the seat, and nobody wants to give black people a chance. And that's why we have to make our own sisterhood and make their own unions and make our own films. And it shouldn't be like that, but hey, if they want to be like that, we have to do something about it. If they can't help give us the opportunities, we have to give the opportunities to ourselves.
But that's what I have a problem with, people in power, especially white folks in power, who say how they feel, and then when there's a backlash, they apologize. I have a problem with that, because I think that, not even just white people, people in general, if you say something and you mean it, once that backlash comes, there's no need for you to then say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, or that's not how if that's how you meant it and that's how you felt, then keep it that way. I remember there was a time when I had said something about Brandy on this show that she took and thought that I hated her, and I was like, no, I don't hate you. I apologize for how you took it, but I don't apologize for what I said. And if you notice, over the years being on this show, I rarely ever apologize for anything that I say when people get upset with me, because if I said it, then I meant it. Now I'm not going to apologize for something that I meant. Now I may apologize if you took it a way that it wasn't supposed to go, but if I meant it, then I'm not apologizing for it. And I feel as though Matt Damon and that woman who bashed Viola Davis last night, they turned around and they apologized, and I'm thinking like, why are you apologizing? That's how you really felt. If that's how you really felt, if you really felt that Viola Davis was up there giving a racial speech, or Shonda Rhimes should have brought her speech, then say what you meant. And you did say it. And because there was a backlash, and then you're apologizing. Well, guess what? I don't take your apology as being sincere. I take what you posted and made a point to post it as being sincere. Because all you got to do is show me your ass one time. You can't show me your ass and then pull up your pants and say, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yes, you did. That's why you pulled down your pants and showed me your ass. You know what I mean? So Matt Damon, you showed us how you felt. You feel as though you don't really believe that the crew should be diverse. The cast can be diverse because that's who we see. But behind the scenes, who we don't see, no, it could be all a bunch of whole white men for all you care. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm tired of people saying things and then apologizing for what they meant. If that's how you meant, then keep it that way.
Because they weren't about being labeled as racist.
Right.
That's why they try to be so quick to apologize.
Well, but then don't say it then. Don't say it, because you know that what you're saying, a lot of people are not going to agree with you with. So then don't say it. Don't say it at all. And if you're going to say it, then say it and then own it.
Say it like you mean it.
Say it like you mean it.
As Wendy was saying. And I was over Wendy this morning. She wasn't talking about, I'm tired of hearing everybody say, oh, this is the first black this, the first black that. It's good to know things like that. Because it gives a black person that feel they don't have a chance. Like, if she could do, oh, I know I could go up there and I could go ahead and do it. Because you don't hear people talk about Whoopi Goldberg, being like she having a Grammy, an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony, and all of these awards. She don't even get recognized for that. And you barely hear that. But you tell that to a young child, that gives them motivation to say, well, if she did it, I know I can do it because I'm good and great at a lot of things. So Wendy, you were just wrong to get on TV and say that, and your audience is so fucking stupid.
And then
they just sit there, yeah. They just sit there, yeah. She like you were following the steps of Oprah, and you've been on TV for a long time.
Right.
And you should be glad at that. Like you're a black woman on TV, not, oh, I'm just a woman on TV. No, you are a black woman on television, showing that you can be successful at this game of television because most don't last that long, only 1-2 seasons. You've been on TV since 2008. Like, be happy about that. That's an accomplishment.
And you know what's also funny, interesting, is that it's good that we know who's the first black and who's, the second black or whatever, because a lot of people may not know this, but Viola Davis last night won the Emmy for lead actress in a drama, and she became the first black actress to do so. But do you know who won the Emmy for lead actress in a comedy?
The black woman,
Yeah.
Jackie? No, she was supporting. Lead actress in a comedy. What year?
I'll give you a hint. It happened a very long time ago.
Wheezy?
No. Isabel Sanford became the first black actress to win an Emmy in a lead role for The Jeffersons. And that was in the early 80s, over 30 years ago. And since then, we had to wait 30-something years later to get our first black actress to win an Emmy for a leading role in a drama series. Look at the time span and the length of time that these two women. Isabel Sanford is not even living anymore. You know what I mean? So Wendy Williams, yes, we are going to keep saying that she's the first or he's the first because it takes us a long time. And it shouldn't take us a long time, but it does. I mean, look how long it took for us to get another black person to win an Oscar. Hattie McDaniel won in, 1940, and then come 1964, it's Sidney Poitier. That's over 20 years. And then after Sidney Poitier was Isaac Hayes won in the 70s for Shaft, but it wasn't an acting role. But I'm saying, as far as another actor, that wasn't until probably the 1980s when Louis Gossett Jr. won. Like, it takes us a long time to win things. So yes, every time we win something, Wendy, we are going to be proud of that. And if we have another African-American president, we're going to say the second African-American president.
Okay.
We're going to keep saying it until we catch up with them. Until we get 40-something of them. Okay?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. You better go on.
So every time we get, yes, we are going to say it. We're going to always say it. This is our 5th African-American president. Out of what? 200 years. And we only got one African-American president. Well, I guess that would be because, 51 years ago, we were all granted the right to actually vote in this damn country. Even though it's sad because some of us don't exercise that right to vote. And I'm not going to go there because this is not that particular video to go there.
But since we on the verge of politics,
go there. Because the other night I was sitting outside of Kevin's house talking to his neighbor Ariel, and we were having a conversation, and then someone who shall remain nameless started talking about, this person needs to get a CAT scan. They started talking about stuff that just didn't make any sense. And Ariel, yeah. So Ariel broke it down to them. It was like, listen, y'all, I can't remember how the conversation went, but she basically said, look, motherfucker, since y'all always out here complaining about these white men, maybe y'all would take y'all black asses to the poll so y'all can vote and exercise your vote, so then we can get these white men that y'all complain so much about and say how you can't get a job because of these white men, get them out of office and get our black men or our black women or our Latino men or our Latino women inside of office instead of always complaining about these white men and women, but yet you sit at home all day or on the block all day getting high.
All day, yes.
And then want to complain.
Yes, preach.
Exercise your right to vote. Like, hello? Oh, well, that don't really mean nothing. The hell it don't. And I can tell you how it does mean something. Because I voted twice, and the man I voted for twice is still in office. And I dare you tell me it don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Okay, well, listen.
Say that to one of your dead relatives that maybe died in the struggle to vote, or because they wanted to vote. Say that to them.
Like, come on, like, it just makes no sense. These people are out here.
I know.
We're coming up on presidential election next year, 2016. We have a bunch of imbeciles on the Republican side running for office. We have Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Hillary Clinton is the projected nominee for our party as of now. Excuse me. There are a lot of Democrats out there who would like to see more candidates step up for the Democratic Party because they just don't want Hillary Clinton to be that main person. They want her to have a challenge. They want somebody to challenge her for that nomination because nobody, including myself, believes that somebody should just be given a nomination like that off of popularity. Yes, Hillary Clinton is very popular and she's also a very smart woman. Hillary Clinton knows what the hell she's doing. But at the same time, I'm sure there are other viable candidates out there who know what they're doing as well. And I would like to see somebody challenge Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? I would love to see our vice president run for run. But of course, you know, these past few weeks he's been, you know, mentioning his family and he has to get the okay from his family. I just saw last night that his wife said that she's all for it if her husband decides to run, but he's still kind of like, and I'm not really for sure if he's up to it mentally. You know, he just lost his son, so he may not be up to it mentally. But if he were to run, I just saw a poll today that Hillary Clinton is leading 42%, Bernie Sanders is 24%. Mind you, Vice President Biden is 22%. He's not even in the race and he's 22%. Imagine if he were to jump in the race. Just imagine. If he would, because there's so many people who would like for him to run.
It would make it more challenging.
Yes,
race
it would make it a more challenging
race.
race. And I love the fact that there are so many young people that are involved, especially on the Democratic side. Because there are a lot of young people who are vying for Bernie Sanders. And I love it, I love it, I love it. But realistically, I just don't see that happening. He has to gain more momentum in the polls. There has to be more people out there vying for him and wanting to hear what he has to say. And I think that if there are that many, you guys, if you do support him, you have to support him a little bit louder. Because right now, the majority of us, we don't hear y'all. All we hear is Hillary. And I want Joe, I really would like Joe to run, but as of now, I don't see it happening. But we got about 25 people on the Republican side running for president, and none of them are convincing. The fact that Donald Trump is leading just shows you.
It just shows you where America
idiots.
Yes. And Donald Trump, to the, you know,
idiots.
They let that crazy man get that microphone the other day, call Obama a Muslim, President Obama a Muslim, and then started saying that we have concentration camps here. I don't know nothing about.
No.
Listen. And then Donald Trump, his people had noticed, oh, he really didn't hear what he was saying. But Donald Trump, you heard him, he's like, oh my God, this is the first question. Like, you heard what the fuck he was saying. And then you had your people make up a lie.
Said that you didn't hear
yes.
one part of the question, but I heard the other part.
And then you get up on Twitter talking about, oh, it's not my responsibility to defend the president. But excuse me, President Obama is not a Muslim.
But can I just say something?
And even if he was.
Yes! Why is that such a bad thing? Yes. Why is white America, not black, why is white America so afraid of Muslims in this country? We have all come to the conclusion that it was not the Muslim religion that attacked us on September 11th. It was extremists who attacked us. Not Muslims. Extremists. I am still waiting for that day when people say, oh, Christians attacked us back in Oklahoma City in 1995. But no, they just say Timothy McVeigh. And he was a Christian. So then why are we labeling the terrorists on 9/11 as just Muslims? Oh, those Muslims attacked us. And what are we going to do about Muslims in this country? We ain't going to do nothing about them. Because we welcome them just like we welcome any other religion, any other race, we welcome them. And what really got me is that Donald Trump said, oh, I wouldn't mind having a Muslim in my cabinet. Really? You're the same guy who just a few short years ago was trying to out President Obama as being a Muslim. And you made this huge hoopla about it. Oh, we need to see his birth certificate. We don't know where he was born. We don't even know if he's Christian. But yet you don't have a problem with Muslims being in your cabinet. Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Trump. If you don't have a problem with Muslims being in your cabinet and serving under you, then why do you have a problem with one running this country? And don't say it is not your obligation or responsibility to defend the president, because if memory serves me correctly, when John McCain was running back in 2008, at a town hall meeting of his, a woman got up and she did the very same thing that a man did at yours. And John McCain quickly snatched that microphone from that woman and told her, we are not going to do this here. That our president is a loving man. He defended the president, and he wasn't obligated to do it. President Obama was his opponent, just like you are to Hillary Clinton. If John McCain could defend President Obama, then why do you feel as though you don't have the right to? That's because you feel the same way that guy feels. You feel the same way he feels. The fact that you and whoever that was that put out that statement on your behalf, y'all just contradicted each other. One person said, oh, you didn't hear him, and now you're saying, oh, you don't have a problem, and this, that, and the third. Did you hear him, or you don't have a problem?
Remember, then when you say Obama's a Muslim, he's going to say, right. And then, like, wait a minute, we have this question in the first place. This is the first question.
Right.
So, come on, Donald. And then Dr. Ben Carson gets on, Meet the Press. That's my show. He gets on Meet the Press and starts talking about, I would have a problem with America having a Muslim president. Like, it's like a bad thing to be a Muslim in America. Like, I need these politicians to stop demonizing people that are of different religions. We are all not the same.
Right.
We all have different beliefs, different faiths. You know,
and that's what makes America great.
So we need to stop. We need to stop doing that to people. And then, how do you think people are going to vote for you? Because you know, you out there talking about their religion. I'm not going to vote for you.
Right.
I'm going to sit there and down my fucking religion, my faith.
Right.
Come on.
Or why would I, as a Christian, vote for anybody who's damning anybody's religion? I don't want somebody like that in the White House. Like, what? No. No. Donald Trump, you're full of it when you say you'll have a Muslim in your cabinet. You're full of it. Anytime you were trying to make our president out to be a Muslim, I don't understand these Republicans. Okay? When Obama ran in 2008, they had this whole issue with him sitting under Jeremiah Wright. Remember that? They had a whole issue with him sitting in that church.
In that church.
Now!
In the black church!
Now y'all got a problem with him being a Muslim. So I guess y'all couldn't get him on sitting in that church. So now y'all making him out to be a Muslim. Look, it just doesn't make any sense.
And then Carly Fiorina. Because I like to watch these. Now this is debate time, and you know, I'm watching Fox News Sunday, 9 o'clock on Sundays on Fox. So she's on there. And he started asking her about the video that she was claiming that they done beat the baby up, the heart was still beating and everything.
What show was that?
Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace.
Okay.
So she's on there, and he's like, but there has been hundreds of sources saying that this tape does not exist. So she goes on to say, I've seen the video, and if anybody want to challenge me, I need them to prove to me that they've seen the video as well. And I'm like, this is not making sense, Carly, at all. So now you want them to have proof that they seen the video too? When they saying that the video does not exist. And then I was watching the Young Turks on YouTube, because I do watch them from time to time, and they was just showing how edited the video was against Planned Parenthood. What they were saying is they charged to ship the fetus to whoever for research. They're not making money. And how much money can you make off $30 and $100 when they're only, you know, do 3% of abortions, but they help women with so much other stuff than just abortion. And you know, you guys let us know in the comments on the last video that it helps with so much. Birth control, breast, what you call that? Mammograms, a whole bunch of stuff for women besides abortion. And they're not even funded to do abortion. They're funded to do everything else. And for Carly to sit up there and keep demonizing this group, Planned Parenthood, and then she's lying. She's just lying. And then say, I still can't believe that she said, I want them to prove to me that they seen the video. If they're saying that the video was not out,
like I said, I gotta record myself watching the video.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Right, talking about she's seen the video. I'm sure you probably seen other videos of how abortions are done, but when they're trying to, you know, it's just a whole hot mess. Y'all Republicans, y'all are doing the motherfucking most, and I'm just glad Hillary and Bernie are just chilling. They're not coming at each other's throat. They're just in their own lanes. But I do need the Democratic ticket to pick up because I want to see some good talk. I want to see some good debates, and you know, I want to learn more about Bernie Sanders. I want to hear him speak and stuff. Like, we hear that he's, you know, he's doing good in the polls, but I really want to know what he's about and everything. So I need to see him more, and not just when Black Lives Matter attacks him every time he goes to speak. That's just not right. Yes, Black Lives Matter. We know Black Lives Matter, but we should also show respect to these candidates out there speaking. Like, it's not just, oh, we want to take over your route, take over your podium just to let everybody know Black Lives Matter. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything, and doing stuff like that is just not right. Hijacking that man's thing, that's just not right. What else? It's people going in for almost an hour. So y'all seen the Basketball Wives last night. Let me just say, Shawnee and Tammy, y'all are fucking bullies. Tammy, you're doing all the dirty work for Shawnee.
Didn't we say that last week?
Yes, but this week they clarified it even more. She gonna ask them, oh, what do you think of me?
Who asked that?
Shawnee. Like, you know, they just having a girl talk, and she was like, I don't fucking like Tammy, but she was laughing. She was like, Brandy, but she was like, Tammy is cool and everything, blah 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 blah. And you know, Tammy basically was saying like she see herself in Brandy. So Shawnee, but she told Shawnee, she was like, when we first met you, you was down to earth to everything, but now I think that you look down on us.
Who said that, Brandy?
Brandy. She told like, yeah, I
told Shawnee that.
So Shawnee talking about, hello, if I look down on y'all, do you think you would be on this boat with me right now if I look down on you? She didn't say that to them, but she said in her confessional. And I had to get her ass together. You fucking right there, be on that boat with me.
Right, because you're trying to prove to them.
Yeah, that you're better.
Right,
and they're making you money and people on TV.
Right. So what's the...
So come on, Tammy. And then in your own confessionals, you kept saying how, oh, in Miami, we wouldn't do this, and whenever there was a problem, we would do this. Is that looking down or not? You think that y'all better. You and Tammy had this whole conversation on how different y'all are and y'all treating them different. And Malaysia had to let Tammy know, hypothetically or not, if you jump in this, we're going to get you too. She let her know from, I'm going to show you this video. She let her know from the door.
Yes! What?
Everybody knows something that you're not sure about, because then it can be definitely a big problem. You know, so why is that needs to be out there? So that we know that whenever that occurs, then we have to swing on you too.
I know that's
okay.
Then you'll get swung on too. You know, in the beginning, a few seasons ago, I wasn't really here for Malaysia. I'm here for Malaysia, and I'm still not 100% here for her. I'm just be honest, but I am here for her because Malaysia don't back down. She don't back down, and in a sense, she kind of reminds me of me. A lot of people come at her, but it's like, bitch, you can come at me all you want to. And is, okay? And is, that's, okay? So you're going to keep talking, and then I'm just going to keep being me. Fabulous. So, you know.
And I think it makes them
Malaysia
mad.
for that. And it makes a lot of people mad that they don't get the response or the reaction from her or from me like they would like to. Like they would like her or me to respond back to them so that then they could, you know, but it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Shout out to Malaysia. That's one thing that I like about you. I see so much of me in you when you confront these bitches like that. Like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. At the end of the day, I sleep very well at night with no care in the world.
And Shawnee and Tammy, they trying to make it seem like, oh, y'all just acting like y'all better than ever. No, because they're not backing down to you and hiding from you like the other girl. They're not Susie and fucking Mika, okay?
Right.
That's Brandy and Malaysia. They're a team.
Okay? And when one swing, the other one's going to fucking swing.
Yes. Tammy, why you always got to speak for her? Because I'm her spokesperson.
Right.
And she's not as... She don't get up and say shit
like I do. But just know Just know that if you swing on her, I'm gonna swing on you.
And she had, and Tammy, you had nothing to do with it. Talking about, oh, but don't y'all try to jump them because I don't like that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to insert myself. They're talking about, oh, hypothetically, if something happened, y'all try to jump, I'm jumping. No, they let you know, but we want to swing on you too. And it's not even your business to get in it. Talking about, oh, I just want to start hitting bitches. You're gonna hit the wrong fucking bitch.
And the wrong bitch is gonna hit you back.
Yes, and I think you met them on the show.
And they're gonna hit you back hard.
Yeah. And then I'm married to medicine. Then I'm married to medicine. I have to say something because Mariah had one of my moments, but she has so much pain and animosity towards Toya. Well, first of all, she has a lot of pain because she lost her twins and everything, but she's taking it out on them, saying that they wasn't there for her and everything. Okay, the best thing to do is to write a card or a letter, because if I'm not fucking with you like that, I'm not gonna hang around you and be phony with you just because you lost twins. And I know that sounds bad and everything, but you already showed that you don't really like them. You think that you're above and better than them, and you downed them the whole time you were on the show to where they said, we don't want to fuck with you no more. Now that you start coming back around and you start getting that alcohol in your system, you start letting your feelings out about how everybody treated you, how you feel like, oh, we're not a family and everything. But you got drunk last night and you revealed to Toya why you still mad at her after 2 years. After 2 years, yes, she put out that secret that your man is not your daughter's father. I thought y'all got past that. You bullied her the whole time while she kept trying to apologize to you. She apologized to you so much, you still treated her like shit. So now, 2 years later, you come back to her and still treating her wrong, saying that, oh, I never got over what you did. You had a drunk moment, and don't accept anybody's apology if you want to come back years later and throw it in their face. But it reminded me of me because a while ago, not a while, years ago, y'all know I lost my nephew. And I felt like my best friends, like they wasn't there for me because they didn't know. I was 22 at the time. They didn't really know, and they still don't know, some of them, how to deal with, you know, if you lose somebody in your family. They don't know how to treat you. They just felt like, oh, well, maybe we should have given you your space. And I feel like that was the time to be there for me. That was the time to be my friend. So, you know, I accepted their apology and stuff, but I would say maybe like 23, not 20, 25 or whatever, I would drink, and my feelings from them not being there, it will come out. It would just come out, and to where I just had to talk to them sober and just say like, yes, I still feel some kind of way because y'all wasn't there for me like I wanted y'all to be there. None of y'all came to the funeral. It was just, it was bad. Oh yeah, it was very bad. And Brandon, it wasn't his fault, but Brandon was at a different point in his life to where we didn't have the same phone numbers or anything. I didn't know what was up with him. It was just a bad time. So he knew, I let him have it too. Like, but you could have at least called me. I know somebody told somebody something, because sometimes people be quick to spread the bad shit that go on and never quick to spread the good stuff. And something like that, I just felt some kind of way. But Mariah, I feel like you and Toya, y'all really need to have a woman heart to heart. No drinks. Just sit there and say everything that's on your mind and say how you feel. And if you still can't have that if you get to that point to where you can't be friendly or, you know, say anything to her no more, then y'all can just separate. Excuse me. And that's how I feel about the whole situation. So Mariah, I just think that you are still dealing with those feelings. You're dealing with the feelings of the family secret and you losing your child, and now you looking out of control on TV. And that's not a good look for ratings. So Mariah, please get it together and get your drinking under control on TV. So anything else happen?
Excuse me, I'm trying to say.
I don't watch America's Next Top Model, y'all. I stopped watching a very long time. Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle had a show in Canada over the weekend, on Friday night, I'm assuming, because the video was out on Saturday. And she, you know, sometimes Patti liked to invite people upstage to sing with her or dance. So this guy, he was up there, he was dancing, and he was feeling it in his spirit so much that he started unbuttoning his shirt. Patti LaBelle said, no, didn't I tell you I'm 71 years old? I am not Nicki Minaj, I'm not that Molly girl, we're not going to do this. So the guy, I guess he was like, signaling to her like, oh, I need a spanking or whatever for what he did, and Patti LaBelle pushes him.
It looks like he, I don't know, but to me it looked like he actually started pulling down his pants. That's what I took.
Oh, I hope he was not.
It just, that's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong, but it looked like he
yeah.
started pulling down his pants.
Oh my God.
Oh no, this has to be
There you go.
it wasn't playing. Oh, he didn't pull up his pants. He pulled his shirt up.
And Patti had to get him together.
Yeah.
And Patti LaBelle, I mean, Patti is known to kick people off her stage. I mean, I've seen
just
plenty
kick
of
him out.
people.
She kicked him out the building.
Yes, out the building, off my stage. I don't ever want to see you again. I guess it's going to be banned for life. I don't know. But you just don't do stuff like that. Respect her stage. Respect her floor. That's what I'm saying. You going to get up there and dance, that's cute. But don't be taking off your clothes. And you better know the motherfucking words when you go up on it, because that'll get you kicked off my stage if I was a performer. Don't come on my stage and you don't know the words to my song, making me look stupid like that. Making yourself look stupid, even make me look even worse, because my own fans or my stands don't even know my words. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. Patti LaBelle, you know, so what? That's her goddamn stage. Some people say, oh, she shouldn't have done. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I would have too.
She's a damn diva. You don't do that on my stage.
Disrespected. When you feel disrespected, it's time for you to go. And like she said, not off the stage, out the building.
Yeah, and mind you, she told her security not to even stop him at first. She was like, no, let it, you know, I got this. I got this.
Right.
But he still started acting a fool, and she did get him.
And you also got to remember, Patti LaBelle is old enough to be someone's great-grandmother.
Okay.
So therefore, like she said, I'm not Nicki Minaj, I'm not Molly. You can do this at their shows, but you can't do it at mine. Show a little respect. And speaking of respect, are we done this time? Are we done with Patti LaBelle?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Speaking of respect, last week I had got a message sent to me, a link regarding this elderly woman from down south, 103 years old. She's been a member of this particular church. I'm going to actually find the name of the church. But while I'm looking for that, she's been a member of this church for 92 years, since she was 11 years old. And recently, about 6 years ago, the church hired a new pastor. And this is a Baptist church. The pastor's style of preaching is, I guess, this particular woman felt as though it's not, something about it just ain't how she's just used to Baptist preachers preaching. She described it as a holy sanctified style type of preaching. And I don't really know too much about the holy sanctified. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with y'all. But what I will say is that I know I posted this on Instagram, and there were a lot of people who were in support of this woman. They were like, you know, this is just wrong. There were also a lot of people who felt as though, listen, if you don't like the way he's preaching, then maybe you should get up and go to another church. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? That is true. If you don't like what's going on in your church, or how your pastor's doing things, or how the church is doing things, great, go, you know, find you another church. But I think in this particular case, it's a little bit different.
A whole lot different,
actually. This woman was kicked out of the church. There was a letter written by the pastor, and it was signed by a few of the members of the church, banning this woman. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Banning her from ever stepping foot back inside of that church for any reason. It had gotten so bad that they actually called the police on this woman. And the police said, we are not going to come out because this is not a criminal case. This is somewhat of a civil case between y'all. So, you know, y'all got to figure this out. This woman said that she made her way to church, and she would go at times and the lights would be off. Just in case some of y'all didn't hear me, this woman is 103 years old. A 103-year-old who's actually still able to make her way to church. Because for those of you that know, there are a lot of senior citizens, once they get up in age, they can't make their way to church like they used to because they're either not mobile enough or they're sick and shut in. But this woman has her right mind and her limbs are working and she's able to get to church every Sunday. Now, I totally disagree on how they handled this situation with this woman. When you have someone who has been a member of your church for not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, not 50, not 60, not 70, not 80, but 92 years. And you say, well, listen, if you don't like how things are going here, get out and don't come back. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where is the respect? Where is the respect? This church don't realize how blessed they are to even have a member like her. There's not many churches that can say that we have somebody sitting in our pews today who's been here for 60 years, let alone 92 years. Me personally, I think that this situation could have been handled a totally different way than how it was handled. I think that this woman and her pastor could have had a good conversation, sit down with each other to come to an understanding or some sort of agreement. Now, I had one of my followers ask me, well, do you honestly think that the pastor should have changed his style of preaching for her? No, I don't think he should have changed his style of preaching for her, especially if the rest of the church is okay with it because he's been there for 6 years. But what I do believe is that just like he shouldn't change his style of preaching for her, she shouldn't have to leave either since she's been a member there for 92 years. Why should I just get up and go somewhere else? It didn't make sense, some of the comments that I was reading regarding this particular situation. Then to have the cops called on this woman, I'm trying to figure out what threat could this 103-year-old woman been to this church or this congregation that they would call the police on her. And it couldn't have been a serious threat because the police said, we're not even going to come out for this, okay? We're not even coming out for this. I think that at the end of the day, this particular story for me is about respect. And we're taught that you respect your elders. And you especially respect your elders in church. Now, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but we got about damn near 20 mothers of our church, okay? And there's probably about 9 or 10 of them that come regularly because the other ones are like sick and shut in. They're too sick or whatever to come to church. But we have this respect at my church that the mothers of the church, they come first. We respect them, we honor them. Because they have this title in the church. We honor these, what I call seasoned saints and warriors that came before us, filled with so much wisdom. And to get rid of this 103-year-old woman because she's challenging her pastor, if you can't challenge your pastor, then what good is it to even have somebody standing in a pulpit that can't be challenged? As a pastor, you're not only supposed to pastor, but you're supposed to teach. And if you have students that are sitting in your classroom that are not understanding, how dare you say, well, if you don't like the way I'm teaching, get out of my room. Find out what it is that they're not understanding. As a teacher, that is your obligation to do that. And not only that, you are a pastor of the church, which means that you are an employee of this church, which means that the congregation and the church is paying you. So how dare you tell this woman, well, get out? And how dare you make up a petition to make sure she don't ever come back? For any reason at all. And then somebody had the nerve to say to me, well, somebody, he actually agreed with this. And then he had the nerve to say to me, and I'm glad he asked this question, well, it's two sides to every story, which there is. We only know what this woman says. Do we even know what the church says? And I said, you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. Because when the news crew went to go question the people from the church, nobody had nothing to say. Nobody wanted to talk. So yes, as of now, we can only go by what this woman is saying because the church officials don't want to tell us why it is that they kicked her out. I mean, if she was really that in the wrong, I would imagine that somebody would say, well, listen, this is what's going on. She's been a nuisance. She's been a menace. This is why we're telling her to get out. But nobody from the church is saying anything. So yes, this woman's word is the only word that we have to go by because nobody from the church wants to talk. I guess they probably figure, well, she's 103. She ain't going to get no type of attention.
Where's her family at? That's what
I don't know, but to think that you would kick somebody out of a church who's been in there for 92 years. And the fact that people say, well, maybe she should just go find another church.
No, it's not about finding another church. She has seniority after being there 90-something years. And if she has something to say, he should have been listening to her. Right. That's how I feel about the situation. Kicking her out, that's just not right at all. To say,
it's not.
You know what? Because you don't agree with what I'm saying, you got to get the fuck out of here. No. And then you called the cops on this woman. Right. As if she's going to do something. I just feel like they could have all had a conversation with her, right. A big discussion about it with the church people, because they have church meetings and everything.
And if they did have a meeting with her, then why is it that nobody wants to talk about it? Why is it that nobody in the church wants to tell us what the outcome was that they had with this woman? I'm sure there was some sort of conversation, but I would love to have heard the church's side of the story, not just this woman's side, but I would have loved to heard their side of the story. Of course, I still wouldn't have agreed with the way they handled this. No, but it would have been a better understanding of why things happen. I would have said, okay, now I kind of see what's going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with what happened. I just can see from both sides. But I can't see from both sides because nobody from the church wants to talk.
And what did they hurt her feelings to the point that where she could die of a broken heart? I wonder if the pastor ever thought of that too. Just start kicking her out, because that's the place that she went to on her Sundays for 90-something years.
Ever since she was 11 years old.
Oh my God.
Since 1923.
And the people of the board said, okay, let's get rid of her. Nobody
They showed the petition with the people signed it. They showed
they need to go to the people that signed it too.
Yes.
Not just to the church. Let's go to their house and you're not going to everybody do it for everything else. Not going to do and find out why the fuck they signed that petition. Not going to do it.
103 years old. And I agree with her. She does have a right to question her pastor if he's teaching something that she feels as though. And you know what's so funny? Because somebody said to me, well, I mentioned something about, a Baptist style or whatever the case may be. And I think the guy, he may have took it the wrong way. He said, well, God's word is, there's no right or wrong way to preach God's word. I said, there's no such thing as, no, he said, there's no such thing as a Baptist way of preaching God's word, this and the third. And I said, you're absolutely right. I said, but if I go to a Baptist church, I don't expect to have a Catholic priest in the pulpit. Does it make sense what I'm saying to you? Just like if I go to a Catholic church, I don't expect somebody to be from a Baptist church sitting up there preaching. Yes, they're preaching the word of God, but it's totally different styles of people. That's why you have these different denominations. That's why you have all these different denominations. And this woman said that I'm hoping that I'm saying it correctly what she stated, but she said it was a holy sanctified way that he was preaching. She's like, after 92 years and being in this church for 92 years, and I'm used to Baptist preachers and this style of preaching, this man comes along and I'm totally getting confused. You see what I'm saying? And it's like she questioned that, and because she questioned that,
it's just you got to go, and that's just wrong.
You got to go because
what city was this? Texas? State? Was that Texas?
Hold on, because I want to get the name of the church too. Yeah, I
wonder if they got a they lit that Facebook page up if they got a Facebook page.
This has made national news. This is something from the New York Post. Mind you, this happened down south. I honestly do think that they didn't think that this would get that big. This is in Elberton, Georgia. Excuse me, I've never heard of Elberton, but this is where it is. Elberton, Georgia. A small church in northeast Georgia is defending its decision to revoke the membership of a 103-year-old woman who disagreed with the pastor. The church is called Union Grove Baptist Church of Elberton. And like I said, this woman has been a member since she was 11 years old for 92 years. Really? I don't even think I would want to sit in a church that kicked out a 103-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. How can
Because if you kick out a 103-year-old, you kick out me.
How can they be okay with just signing off and saying, yes, let's get rid of her, and then afraid to speak to the news about why they did it? Yeah, come on now. But, speaking of the church.
Yes.
Iyanla.
She said, retired teacher said, such activities aren't Baptist, but were introduced at the church by Maddox, one of her. Okay, let me just say this. I'm sorry, and then I'm going to get on. It says, the woman has been a church member for 92 years, but disagreed with its pastors, Timothy Maddox, about worship practices that include laying hands on members. Biggs, a retired teacher, said such activities aren't Baptist, but were introduced at the church by Maddox, one of her former students. So he was a student of hers. He is a holy sanctified minister, or so he says. We voted him in, and we didn't know it until he was there. We are Baptists, and that's what we want to stay, Biggs said. Okay, now this right here, a statement was put out from the church. A statement from the Union Grove Church said fellow members decided to remove Biggs. It was determined by the congregation during a church conference meeting, which Mrs. Biggs was present at the time of the meeting, that the behavior of Mrs. Biggs and others were detrimental to the church at large. So others meaning that she wasn't the only one that had an issue with this. Was detrimental to the church at large and could no longer be allowed, according to the statement. Church members voted in August to revoke Biggs' membership, although she has continued attending services.
Oh, okay.
Biggs was previously a church officer, and her father was one of its founders.
This even makes it even more worse. I'm ready to call this church.
I'm ready to fucking call too. I'm ready to.
What's their number?
We're going to Google it. Union Grove Baptist Church. I'm ready to call and find out what's going on down in Elberton. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Mother Hinton got up and started complaining? They said, you got to go. What?
Union Grove Baptist Church.
That's it right there. What's the phone?
That's a Lexington, North.
Push call. If you push call,
that's the wrong one. Union Grove Baptist Church, Elberton.
Yes.
There you go. Ooh, they got 1 star. Look at that.
One.
Let's call them.
Call them on camera.
Yes. I want to know why they did it. You want to speak? They gonna call. They gonna call my phone.
Good. Put them on blacklist.
I ain't block it. I just call. They probably gonna call.
I'm calling from Channel 6 News.
So they're not gonna pick up.
Well, it's Monday. There ain't nothing going on at the church on Monday.
You know everybody probably been calling now.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Okay, they turned that voicemail off.
Yeah. I bet you they did. Can you imagine the people that was calling it?
Yeah. They tried it. And speaking of church services, Iyanla Van Zant, my good auntie, came back on Saturday night on OWN.
Wait, so I can find her show now on Xfinity, right?
Yes.
On
Vibes.
Well, I guess I'll probably be able to find it too on Xfinity.
Yes. It was so
The new
good.
episodes, I'm sorry to cut you off. But
Yes.
Okay.
The new episode. Mind you, I had an Iyanla marathon. Like, I kept posting videos like, because I missed these old episodes, but Iyanla was getting them motherfuckers together. So, on the season premiere of Iyanla Fix My Life, she highlighted 2 pastors. One was secretly, well, they both were gay, and haven't told members of their family in the congregation that they are gay. I found myself feeling more sorry for one of the gay pastors than the other gay pastor. One gay pastor I seen as a narcissist, and one I seen as, you know, that he really has guilt, shame, and fear of coming out to his audience. He said that as a child, his congregation, as a child he was molested, but he was still saying that it has always been there for him. And he grew up in one of those type of families where it was like, if you're gay, I'm going to disown you. So he lived with the thought of what his grandparents would say, his mom would say, what would his church say, and what would this person say. And you know, he has a good congregation. Like, he has a lot of people that go there, but he's just a gay man. He didn't have a wife. He's just, he really didn't talk about him being in a relationship or anything. It was more so just about him being gay. And Iyanla really sat him down and talked about everything. And she took him to his church to do an exercise where she had him write down, she said, everything that's going on, I want you to leave on the church step. So she was like, everything that's going through your mind, tell me. So Iyanla wrote down a lot of stuff: guilt, the shame, the embarrassment, the judgment, and everything. So he had like maybe 20 pieces of paper out there on the side. She said, this is exactly where we're going to leave this, right out here. And she was like,
because I'm sorry to cut you off, because truth be told, anybody who goes to church knows that when you come into the house of the Lord, you're supposed to leave all them problems where? On the front steps of the church. And when you're leaving out, you ain't supposed to pick them back up with you. You're supposed to leave them and keep on moving. But go right ahead.
So Iyanla was like, well, I'm going to get you to tell your parents and I want you to tell your mom and I want you to tell your family of, you know, what happened. But I don't think Iyanla took the cameras there. So, meanwhile, while that was going on, she started talking to this guy, Reverend Mitchell. I'm just calling him Reverend Mitchell. Now he was married, been in a relationship for 5 years. He was married for a couple years, had 5 children. I'm not sure if they're all their children together or if they really had 5 children together. But during the course of their marriage, he had sex with 5 different random men off the internet or whatever. And Iyanla, oh my God, Iyanla broke this guy down so bad that he was just crying and crying. It was crying to the point where it irritated me. But this man was broken, and that's what Iyanla does. She gets you to see yourself for who you really are. So she made him, she had these mirrors, right? She had mirrors with different labels on the back of them. One said man, one said just other stuff. She's like, so tell me who this man is, tell me who you say. And he started talking all the good things about himself. Now tell me about the bad things about the man. Oh, he lost it again. He cried and he cried. And oh my God, he just cried.
Did he ever get to say what the bad things were?
No. Because I feel like he was so into himself. He was just so into himself and talking about I'm this and I'm that and
then when somebody came to break his ass down, he couldn't handle it.
He could not handle it. I don't think he was ready to do the work, but he was just filled with so much. And then the girlfriend was on it. She just was like, if he's gay, then he should have told me this and all this and that. And he was saying that, oh, well, she emotionally cheated on me. But he was like, but she didn't actually cheat on you. But he was trying to take it off of him and put it on to somebody else. Like, he was really trying his best. But when Iyanla got in that ass, she got in that ass. Because Iyanla started from the roots of, you know how Iyanla does. And, you know, she just really, really broke this man down. And this is a three-part series. And
so they ain't done. She ain't done with these.
No, she ain't done with them. And Iyanla had them. The guy started. Mitchell was crying so much to the point where Iyanla, you know, he had to put his face on her chest, and she's taking the evil spirits away off of him by, you know, just throwing it away. And she got him to lay down in the bed. And then he was just crying even. I mean, this man cried the whole episode.
Because he's broken.
Yeah, he's broken, and he felt shamed for everything that he did. And then his children look at him funny because he was preaching about gay people and how God doesn't like them, everything in his church. And then he's going around sleeping with men, and he's saying that he's actually gay. So he feels like his wife has got the children turned against him and everything. So he's just feeling all of that. And it's just a shame because it's even worse for him, probably, not worse probably, but it's worse for him because he has a wife and he has children. And his children have to live with that. And what does his children want to think of him now that he done preached this to the church and now he's doing the exact same thing that he preached against? So he was just really going through it. But I still did not feel sorry for him for some reason because I just feel like Iyanla was like you, and Iyanla told me like you just feel like you live above everything. You think like you got it all, you know it all, and you don't. And
broke his ass down.
Broke him.
He had never had anybody break him down before like that, in quite that way. That's why he kept crying.
Iyanla did like 2 exercises with him that he could not do. He just couldn't do it.
Well, I can't wait to go home and watch this.
Oh, it was good. Ooh, it was good. And I'm just telling y'all what I seen. I can't even tell y'all the outcomes of anything because, you know, basically that was part 1. Next 2, I believe that we're going to find out what happened with Reverend Derek telling his family that he was gay, and then we're going to hear from Reverend Mitchell's mother. Reverend Mitchell's wife on what happened in their relationship and everything. So it was good, y'all. And it's and I know that it probably had preachers talking on Sunday if they happen to see that episode of Fix My Life, and you know, being gay and then preaching to your congregation. It was really, really good, y'all. But I thank y'all for watching this video. Don't forget that Empire comes back this Wednesday. Minority Report comes on tonight. All these, this is a new season for all new shows. And watch that show Narcos. Like,
Narcos.
I'm like, what is he doing?
Narcos.
I'm thinking he was doing.
No.
I'm like, this is on Instagram. That camera is just so clear. Anyway,
Narcos.
Y'all just get into these shows. Survivor's Remorse. Y'all know that's my fucking show. I love it. So so we're gonna go. Y'all have a great week. This Wednesday, Mama Scorpion Live. Don't forget 5:30. If you have any questions for her, please make sure you send us an email. And we'll see you guys on Friday with a new video. Peace.